Okay, here with Stratos for a WeatherXM update. Stratos, a little bit of a mystery man at WeatherXM. No one really knows what he does, but he's the right now he's got the title of Chief Product Officer, and I'm joking with him a little bit. He's telling me there's an inside joke there that he's done everything at the company, and whatever needs to get done, he ends up helping out with it. So, dude, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me here. I'm
Yeah,
not really used to being in such kind of interviews, but I will survive.
We'll work you through it. Yeah, you're gonna be okay. So let's see. All kind of jokes aside, you've been head of engineering, chief product officer, one of the founders. Like you totally know what's going on, and it's really cool. And I really appreciate you taking the time to walk us through what we're going to talk about today, which is proof of location. Lots of questions about it. Lots of people concerned with what's going to happen to their station. But let's start off with what is PoL? What is proof of location?
So PoL essentially is a mechanism, a proof of location mechanism that aims to provide a score that denotes the confidence we have regarding a weather station's location. And, when we're talking about the weather, there's always a location there, explicitly or implicitly. You're talking about the weather at a specific location.
Right.
So weather stations in our network they would be meaningless if we don't know the location of the stations, right? So it's really important for us, for the network, to know the exact location of the stations at all times, and that the stations remain stationed.
Right, like they're not moving around. Okay, I mean that makes sense when you talk about when someone asks me what the weather is. I assume they're talking about the weather wherever I am, and if they don't, they'll say, "Hey, what's the weather in Alaska, not San Diego, or Athens, not Persepolis?" Okay, so how does the whole thing work? Like, what would you say? Like, walk me through how this thing goes, how we figure out the location.
Okay, I will try not to be too technical, but essentially, we're collecting location from various sources, right? So the two main sources of location is the location that the user sets during the claiming process, the onboarding process of the station. The user gets to tell us what the exact location they deployed the station on. That's probably with great precision. And this is the main location that we are based on. Apart from that, we also have a GPS sensor on all our stations. And it sends out GPS location that's using GPS satellites. And it's reporting GPS location multiple times per day, maybe more than 10 times per day. And this is not always accurate. Sometimes you get the location from less number of satellites. So you have maybe an accuracy of 20 or 50 meters. Other times you have a location accuracy of 1 meter. So now we do have all these location sources, and we are employing this PoL algorithm that is trying to provide an answer to the simple question: where was the weather station located at a specific day? In order to answer this, and to answer it in a way that does not expose the location of the station publicly, what we do is we use geospatial indexes, as they call it. So we, instead of reporting the actual location at a very high accuracy, we use these cells that you can see also on our Explorer, like these hexagons that are about 5 square kilometers in an area, the area that covers that big. And we have an approximation of the location, right? So what we are checking with this PoL algorithm is if at the end of the day, based on all the GPS signals we collected from your station is still in the same cell that you reported when claiming or not.
Got it. Now, there are also some other sources that we can kind of use to figure out like what's the most trusted location reporting. So you have the user, who says, hey, I'm here, this is where it is in my house. You've got the GPS saying, okay, it's here within kind of 20, 50 meters, whatever it is, and that will bounce around as you have different satellites coming overhead, or that bounces off some building or whatever it is. But that's pretty accurate. There's also, what is it, on the helium stations, there have been a bunch of companies that have been doing work on this trilateration stuff where through the signal strength, you can kind of figure out what's going on or where the thing likely should be, as well as with Wi-Fi is another one. So you can try and figure that out. So it sounds like we've got a couple different ways to figure out where things are.
So you're correct. And actually, I've been working on projects that work with location data one way or another for like 15 years. I've even done indoor location using Bluetooth beacons, using my own trilateration algorithms. And location is hard, especially with technologies like Bluetooth or helium, as you suggested. We've seen great inaccuracies when you try to pinpoint a location only using helium. But all these algorithms together, if they're working together, they can provide a better, clear idea of where the station is actually placed. So right now, in the first version of PoL, we are considering the location that the user has told us during claim as the ground truth, and we are validating this user provided information against GPS data. In future version of the algorithm, we are going to use Wi-Fi location as well. There are certain techniques that we can go about doing this. I don't want to dive into details. And
Sure.
helium location as well. So helium, for example, is the location based on helium gateways is something Helium network provides anyway. We're going to use it as well.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like we're gonna be following the trust but verify maxim. It's like, all right, you tell us where it is, because we've all seen what happens is with gamers, right?
Yep. And also, these algorithms will be open in the future. Everybody will be able to see, give us feedback, and help expand this.
Cool, super cool. And I think what we're going to start to see, if I'm understanding it right, is as proof of location starts to be applied, if we see any inconsistencies, the owner of the station will get an email saying, hey, your POL looks kind of wonky. Like, what's going on? Can you help us understand that? Or it's not reporting any data at all. So am I getting that right?
Yeah, totally. So we plan to approach this in many ways, actually, because we are very, how to say this? We really want to make this work. We really believe in this project and the community we've built so far. So we want to make sure we treat our community in a fair manner and give rewards to station owners that really, doing a great job maintaining the station, deploying the station properly, and sending good data. Because at the end of the day, what is the value of the network is the data, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we started deploying the quality of data algorithm last week. That's why we enabled actually today for the first time the PoL algorithm. So what the users should expect now is starting today, when they open their mobile app, hopefully, if they done a good job deploying the station, they will see nothing new. But if they have one of those few stations that they might have forgotten to attach the M5 GPS antenna, which is this one, or if their M5 is sitting far away from the window and the GPS antenna is not getting any signal. Or in the extreme cases where you have a station sitting on your couch instead of up there, then you will get an error, like in the reward screen, where we list now all the problems related to a specific reward run. Like every time the reward algorithm is run, certain things are evaluated, everything is in the white paper, everything is documented out
Yep.
there, you can read about
Yep.
it. So you will find 2 new error codes if your GPS is not working properly. These 2 errors are either no location data, when we are not getting any GPS location at all for a specific day, or a location not verified message. If we are getting some GPS locations, but this location is not the same as the one set during the claim process. These are, the first things someone will see are these 2 errors. We plan, as you said also, we plan to notify any station owners that have these specific problems with an email campaign in the following days. And the next big feature that we are rolling out, hopefully before Christmas, on our mobile apps is some new screens that will facilitate people to report a new location, because so far, as you probably know, after claim a station, there's no way to tell us that you changed the location. So we are enabling this now. Keep in mind, though, as I said earlier, we do need a station to be permanently deployed at a specific location, and it's not good for the network to have a station changing locations throughout
Right.
its life cycle. So we want to disincentivize this, and in the future we are going to introduce a relocation fee, just like Helium Network is doing.
Yep.
In Helium, if you're familiar,
Yep. Totally.
you need to pay a fee before you're moving your station, and then the new location needs to be validated. We're not gonna make people pay before moving it, but once a user is confirming a new location, you will be in a, let's say, probation period where you will be losing rewards for a few days until we properly validate the location.
Perfect.
I hope this makes sense.
No, I'd like move my stations around every so often. I got one station that I use for paragliding, and I'll put it on one site, leave it there for a month or two, go put it on another site. So that makes sense to me that, one part of the county here in San Diego is going to have different weather than another part, and you want to make sure that you know where it's coming from. Okay. So let's see, what can people do? A lot of people are really focused on the token rewards. What can people do to make sure that as far as proof of location goes, they continue to get the rewards? Are there any kind of upgrades they need to do? Or is there any checklist of oh, hey, make sure that X, Y, and Z is done? Or for the most part, is it pretty straightforward?
Well, if they have followed the deployment process, and there are docs helping about it, there are YouTube videos talking about how to properly install your station, you should be fine, right?
Okay.
But if you are in one of the few categories that I described earlier, then we will make sure in the next few weeks that you are more and more aware of any problems, not just regarding PoL, but also QoD, right? So one of the next features, probably rolling out early next year, is some notifications where we'll be proactively letting people know if they have certain problems, either with the data of the station or the GPS location, and perform some actions to correct the problem.
Perfect.
Again, we want to be fair for those who do a great job maintaining the stations, and we don't want zombie stations in the network, right? We care about our community. We care about the investment they've made in the project, and we want them to be treated fairly and earn rewards if they are worth it, if their stations are worth it.
Love it. Right on, dude. Well, I think that covers the kind of broad strokes of proof of location. Thanks again for coming on, taking the time, making sure that we explain that to the community. I really appreciate that kind of on behalf of them. Thank you. And super excited to see where this goes.
Thank you for inviting me. And I hope this clears things a bit.
Yeah.
And happy to talk again.
We'll have you back on when we do the upgrades. Heck yeah. Thanks, Stratos.
Thank you.